Today, more than 2 billion people live in the semi-arid regions of Asia and Africa. Home to a fourth of the world's population, these drylands exhibit some of the most unforgiving and harshest conditions to be found anywhere on the planet. Resultantly, those who call the semi-arid regions home, tragically remain the poorest, the hungriest, the most nutritionally insecure, and the most marginalized in the world. But it does not have to be like this. Change happens when institutions and nations of goodwill coalesce around a concern for common humanity in which a brighter future is created for all. And thus begins the story of ICRISAT, the International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics. ICRISAT was established in 1972 by a memorandum of agreement between the Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research and the Government of India. India's Green Revolution started in the 1960s, and initial discussions were held for the establishment of a dedicated sorghum institute in the country. This concept later evolved into creating an International Crops Research Institute for the semi-arid tropics for key dryland crops. The foundation stone for ICRISAT campus was laid by the then Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, on the 11th of January 1975. Today, ICRISAT is the only international agricultural research center, IARC, with its headquarters in India. It is recognized as the premier global research organization for dryland farming. 50 years of innovation. For 5 decades, the journey of ICRISAT has been defined by innovation that constantly pushes the boundaries of possibility. ICRISAT's core strength lies in its world-class research and scientific innovations, with a focus on developing productive, climate-smart, and nutritious legume and cereal crops critical to the drylands, comprising chickpea, pigeonpea, groundnut, pearl millet, sorghum, finger millet, and small millets. 1970s, the beginnings. ICRISAT scientists develop varieties, hybrids, and breeding lines that resist pests and diseases, and also develop technologies that can be used by dryland farmers. Agronomic experiments mark the beginning of the Institute's farming systems research program. The 1980s, an era of excellence and expansion. The first ICRISAT sorghum and pearl millet varieties are released for farmers in Sudan. ICRISAT expands its local presence by establishing offices in Africa, commencing with the ICRISAT Sahelian Center in Niger. ICRISAT-led projects deliver new groundbreaking outcomes for food security across Africa, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Latin America, and the Caribbean. 1990s, the era of breakthroughs and awards. ICRISAT commences research to develop genome maps of sorghum and pearl millet with collaboration from Italy, the UK, and the USA. A geographical information system, GIS, that can manage multiple levels of spatially distributed data is set up for rollout across Asia and Africa. ICRISAT scientists breed ICPH8, the world's first hybrid pigeonpea with an increased yield of 30%, in partnership with the Indian Council for Agricultural Research (ICAR). The variety is released for cultivation. Director Generals Jim Ryan and Shauki Barghouti receive the King Baudouin Award for high-yielding and disease-resistant pearl millet and pigeonpea respectively. 2000s, the era of new horizons. The recognition of the private sector as valuable research for development partners leads to the formation of the sorghum and pearl millet hybrid parents research consortia, followed by a similar consortium for pigeonpea. ICRISAT's early advocacy for climate-resilient crops and climate awareness delivers a Nobel Peace Prize. 2010s, the era of digital and genomic technology. ICRISAT decodes the genome sequence of chickpea, groundnut, and pearl millet in collaboration with global partners. The combined impact of genomic and digital technologies results in fast-tracking crop innovations. This decade sees many world firsts led by the Institute: high oleic acid groundnut, high iron and zinc pearl millet, and sorghum contributing to improved nutrition in infants and children, supporting the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. Further breakthroughs include fungal disease-resistant and early maturing groundnut, machine-harvestable chickpea, high biomass sorghum for biofuel, drought, and heat-tolerant chickpea. Digital technologies for farmers take off with the establishment of the ICRISAT's iHub. 2020 onwards, the era of new opportunities. The modernization of breeding continues and many bold initiatives are undertaken. 2 high oleic acid groundnut varieties developed by ICRISAT and the Indian Council of Agricultural Research Directorate of Groundnut Research are released by the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. ICRISAT wins the National CSR Award India twice. The tropical legumes led by ICRISAT and its national partners leads to ICRISAT winning the Africa Food Prize 2021. As of early 2023, 1,230 ICRISAT varieties are released in 81 countries, further extending ICRISAT's global reach and impact. 129,000 accessions from 144 countries are curated by the ICRISAT Gene Bank, and more than 1.5 million samples are distributed to 150 countries. For the last 50 years, ICRISAT, in partnership with its valued donors and partners, has made a significant impact on the lives of millions in the semi-arid regions of Asia and Africa, but more needs to be done. On the 50th anniversary of the Institute, commemorated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi,
on its 50th anniversary, ICRISAT rededicates itself to making dryland agriculture resilient, sustainable, and profitable.
We invite you to partner with us on the next phase of our exciting journey, as together, we can change the future.